KF5HEL here, wanting to talk about the audio setup that I have on my Mac to operate my FLEX-6400. I have a couple of images up here that I want to point you to at first. To the upper left is the Florian BM-800 condenser microphone that I mentioned in a previous video. I picked this up off of Amazon some years ago for I think $35. Very good condenser mic. It requires phantom power. It has an XLR jack, so you have to have an appropriate mixer or power source to power it, but really nice microphone. In fact, I'm talking on it right now. To the upper right is a picture of the front and the back of the Behringer UMC-1820. This is a multiple mixer that interfaces to a USB port on my Mac. This is where I plug in my microphone, some radios I have, and I can mix all those in. It's a very, very nice mixer, and I'm going to show you how I use that on my Mac in software. The bottom left here is a program called Audio Hijack. This is made by a company called Rogue Amoeba. This is a very flexible audio tool that I use on my Mac for a number of things related to my ham radio hobby. To the right of that is Loopback, which is another Rogue Amoeba product that I'll talk about. So, one of the things that you do obviously as a ham radio operator is you talk on a microphone. You make contacts, voice contacts. In order to do that, I wanted to have a good microphone set up, and on a Flex SDR radio, which has its own microphone, of course you could use that microphone, but I don't. I choose to use the microphone hooked up to my Mac and let that route the audio into the Flex radio for broadcast. So on the left, I'm going to point you to this new blank session. And if you look here, there's an input device, a 10-band EQ, and an output device. So I created this in Audio Hijack. This input device is selectable, and you can see I have a number of options here, and I have desk mic. Well, desk mic is actually over here in this window defined in Loopback. The desk mic, which is selected, is coming off of my UMC-1820 on channel 3. I have this single mono going out to 2 left and right channels, and then I have this optional monitor which I can use to listen to myself if I put my headphones on, but I'm not going to worry about that for this talk. So I just defined my own loopback device, my own audio input device, if you will, called a desk mic, an audio source. So I have this desk mic, which is referencing obviously this guy here, going to a 10-band EQ, which I can set, and I can set these levels any way I want. Really, really nice. And then I take the output of that and go what's called to an output device called a desk mic EQ, and that is simply another loopback device here, which I've created. It's just a pass-through device. So now I can take my desk mic EQ and make that as an input source to something like Dog Park SDR or some other device that would expect a normal microphone on my Mac. Now the nice thing about doing the EQing on the Audio Hijack program is that I can listen to myself before I go out to the radio, and I can set up my own equalization parameters. There is a way to do that within the Flex radio itself. You can tweak your audio output, but I'm doing it a little bit beforehand. So this gives me an additional way to set up my audio. So that is how my microphone setup is done on my Mac using the Euphoria UMC-1820 by Behringer, the multi-mixer, the Florian BM-800 condenser microphone, Audio Hijack, and Loopback.